With CBS News political director John Dickerson, who joins us this morning from Washington. John, nice to have you with us, and belated congrats on the official title there. As we're looking at this, Dean's laid out what's happened, of course, in the last 24 hours or so. Cain's stumble on Libya. We know he's going to hold a couple of press conferences later today. He's dropped in some of the most recent polling. What's really going on here with Herman Cain? Can he recover from this?
Well, he's got two problems. One is that the sexual harassment claims have seen his numbers go down, not only the big number, who would you vote for today, but also his favorable ratings, which had been going up. They are now going down. His unfavorables are rising. So with that problem, then comes along this other one. And the reason this video is such a problem is that even though his campaign says he wound around to the answer ultimately at the end, it hits at his key weakness in these polls and when you talk to voters, which is they have trouble seeing him in the Oval Office making a tough decision. He said he can cram and learn about all these new places across the globe, but obviously in that video it shows that it's tough to cram, and that's the big problem for him here. His
campaign contends that clip was taken out of context, that he only had 4 hours of sleep, but as you point out, it could be tough to come back from that. Let's take a look at this newest polling, the CNN ORC poll, which shows Cain support dipping now to 14%, but this has been very good. You look at Newt Gingrich's numbers. I mean, you figure in the margin of their error there, and he is essentially now the guy who is neck and neck with Romney, saying that well over half of his party is not confident with Mitt Romney. Could he surge ahead of Romney?
He certainly could surge ahead of Romney. Newt Gingrich is having his moment. We've had a number of candidates now who've had their moment in the sun. Bachmann, Perry, Cain, and now it's Gingrich's turn. And what's interesting about the Gingrich rise is that his votes seem to be coming both from the Tea Party wing, which has always been uncomfortable with Mitt Romney as a frontrunner, and they've also a little bit been coming from Romney. And so as his coalition might be slightly different than all of those other non-Romney candidates that came before. But Gingrich will have to see if he can hold his place at the top or near the top. The others have had, obviously, problems.
Is there a concern about funding when it comes to Newt Gingrich? We saw the stumbles of his campaign early on.
That's right. The big question for one of the big questions for Newt Gingrich is discipline and organization. His organization is still being put together. He said he's had a lot of good fundraising recently as he's come to the top. And strategists say there are a lot of Newt Gingrich lovers in the party who thought that basically when his campaign seemed to crash on the launching pad, that it was over, and now they're kind of coming back to him. But it's very hard to build an organization quickly. He's got strength in Iowa and South Carolina. So he seems to have enough if he can sustain his campaign in all the other ways he'll need to in this short period where we have less than 2 months before the Iowa caucuses.
John Dickerson, thanks.